Hello, welcome to Zentangle Explore. I am so excited that you are here again, drawing with me, either live or on the replay. Either way, it's super fun. This is a class where we just draw one Zentangle pattern really, really slowly, and we explore it in whatever way brings you joy. I am Esther Piszczek. I'm a certified Zentangle teacher, and I'm super excited to be drawing with you. So all you will need is a pen. I have a 01 Micron, but even if you just have a ballpoint pen, that will be totally fine. And then small pieces of paper that you can fit in the size of your hand. So no smaller than 2 by 2, but it can be a little square, it can be a rectangle, whatever you want. It can be not a shape at all. It can be like super wackadoodle. That's fine too. So we're going to start out with some breathing where we just settle down into our space so we can draw really, really slowly. So get nice and comfortable in your seat. You can close your eyes if you like. I'm going to close mine. And just find your breath. Your breath is cycling around, inhaling and exhaling, and inhaling and exhaling, regardless of whether we pay attention. But it's oh so delightful. We can tune into our breath and just watch it, witness it, notice it. Say, hello, breath. What's happening? Let's just allow everything in our bodies to just come to rest. Perhaps you can start with some gentle awareness at the top of your head. And just ask everything to just respond to gravity. Okay, forehead. No need to be crinkled. All right, jaw. No need to be tight and tense. Oh, shoulders. Just relax and calm down just a touch. Okay, lungs. Let's maybe invite a little more oxygen in. Breathe just a tiny bit deeper. Hands and arms and fingers. Maybe a little wiggle. Just ease out any tension. Torso and hips and thighs. Resting on the seat or wherever it is that you're sitting. Perhaps you're on the floor. Perhaps you're lying down. Perhaps you're standing. Say hello to those body parts and feel the gentle tug of gravity as you continue to breathe. Knees and shins and ankles. The arch of your foot. Perhaps touching the floor. Perhaps in shoes. Perhaps not. And toes. Allowing everything to just come to rest. There's nothing else to do right now but to feel and sense the letting go of your muscles and the tension, allowing the thoughts to just float away as we settle into this space 100% and focus on our breath. Perhaps you're inhaling, perhaps you're exhaling. Perhaps you're noticing where you can feel that inhale and exhale in your body. Maybe in your tummy, or your chest, or your back body and your ribs. Maybe your shoulders or your elbows. Maybe your upper chest or your throat or your nose, back of your throat, your mouth. whatever you feel is just perfect. Just let it be and just notice. And the cycle of the breath is an inhale and a little micro stop. Just a little rest at the top. And then a nice flowing exhale. And then a little stop at the bottom. A lovely exchange of oxygen for creativity and movement. And then a release of carbon dioxide, feeding the plants, feeding the outside world. Everything in synergy. When you're ready, you can take a big inhale together with me. And a nice sighing exhale if you'd like to make noise and you feel safe in your environment. Ah. Nice big inhale with me. And a nice long sighing exhale. Oh. The vibration of making sound feels so good in the body. And one last big inhale if that feels good to you. And a nice exhale. Oh. When you're ready, you can open your eyes, knowing that whatever you create today will be absolutely perfect, exactly as it is. Okay, I'm very excited to draw, so I'm going to change my camera and we will begin. Took you on a little ride there. Okay, so I have several pieces of paper and we use several pieces so that in case we want to do more than one. So see, there are all sorts of different sizes and even different shapes. And they don't even need to be square or perfect straight edges. They can be whatever. And this is watercolor paper. And I use watercolor in case I want to add watercolor later to my explorations. And I also use a permanent pen. So this is a Micron 01. And then I also have a Sharpie pen. And then you can have different sizes too. So whatever you have will be just perfect, even if it's, you know, a blue ballpoint, that would be great too. So whatever you have. And the permanent pen just allows you to add watercolor or something else on top of it if you'd like to. So we are drawing a tangle today. I don't know who created it. It's a miscellaneous tangle since I do not know. And the name of it that I'm calling it is Sway. So we're going to start really, really slowly. We're going to draw a line, a nice gentle curve. It's basically a big U-turn. So slowly. There's so much benefit to just slowing down and tuning in, watching the ink flow onto the page. These can float in space or they can go off of the page. Two ways to do this to continue this pattern. We can draw on the line that came before, which makes it a little bit thicker. And then we're just going to aura that with a little shape beneath. My hand hand has a little wiggle in it today, and I'm just going to embrace that. We're just warming up here, so whatever is happening with your shape or your pen or your line, just allow it to be. Just this is a process of this drawing process of exploring, and drawing slowly is all about just accepting what comes out on the page. So the first time I drew up of this line, first I'm going to show you a shorter way to do this if you want. This is called take off and land, the Zentangle terminology. And so we start on the line, but just up at the top here. And then we bring in that curve. And so I want you to notice the different parts of this. So as it is right now, I've got these coming down to a point, but they don't need to come down to a point. They can be spread out. And we have this shape, this long leaf type shape, and then other little leaf type shapes that are kind of cascading underneath it in an aura type pattern. And we can change any one of these parameters at any time, because this is an exploratory class and it's all about asking, well, what if I do this? What if I do that? And I'm just going to put mine on a little hill here just for fun. That is not required. So we're just warming up. You can change the shape. You could make it wiggle. You could put a larger end on it so it has more form at the end. You can start out wider like this one is. You can vary the width of your, kind of imagine these are pieces of grass, or really they could be anything. They pile up, they look really fun. So you can see what a different look this has when I don't bring them down closer to each other when they spread out. You can overlap these if you like. Maybe I take off from here. This is all about your exploration. I'm just holding space for you to discover what it is that you feel like drawing right now. And we're doing it really, really slowly. So now I'm imagining what's happening behind here until I can see that shape reappear. And I'm really just guessing. If anyone's watching us and saying, well, how do you know how do you know where that goes? Well, no one's telling me. I'm just guessing. And guessing is a lovely thing to do. And you can see that the eye makes this curve all the way down here with no problem whatsoever with having that shape go behind. These look like little angel wings now, which is super fun. You can turn your tile at any time. And if you have a question in your head that says, what if I do this? What if I make this fatter? What if I made it thinner? What if I make it darker? What if I fill it in? What if I use another color? You can do all of those things. In any moment that you choose to. You can draw with a thicker pen. So we're going to start again, or I'm going to start again. Sorry, I had a little computer thing I was doing there. So it might have been pretty straight, but you can really add some sway to this. What we're doing is just drawing really, really slowly and allowing the line to show up just as it is. So we have this kind of grass type shape. And then we have this little aura. And even that edge of that aura can change. So there I started in, so there's a little tiny V here, but I could just start so there isn't a V. Breathing. And watching the ink come onto the page. Relaxing that hand. Letting go of any expectation about what this should look like. We haven't drawn this before. It's all brand new. And we give ourselves a chance to slow down. And we can tune into that inner voice that says, hey, why don't you try doing this? And you have a pen, and you have a paper, and you have your breath, and you can listen to that voice and try it, whatever that is, and see what happens. And in the end, the idea is that yours will likely look nothing like mine. This isn't a copying type of class. This is an exploratory class. Where you get to explore what you want to explore. I just give you some ideas of where to begin. A dedicated time and space, which is actually of your own choosing, since you are here, either live or on the replay. And what you do with that time and that space and your pen is truly up to you. You can add a wiggle to your line at any time. So when we have aura lines, an aura line just mimics what came before. And so every time you shift and change that line, it changes every other line in succession, which is super fun to play with. Because this is your creation, you get to say what happens to every single line on your page. If at any time during this process you think, oh, I don't like what I'm drawing, I didn't mean to make that line, it's no good, just ask you to come back to your breath. Just come back to your breath and know that you have the opportunity in every moment to choose another perspective. Each one of us always has the opportunity to choose a new perspective in every moment. Maybe that line that you just drew that you do not like, maybe it's leading you to create another line, bringing you another new idea that wouldn't have had the opportunity to come into your awareness if you'd continue drawing exactly as you had intended. I often find that when I do things that I don't intend, that they're really just beautiful opportunities for seeing everything differently. They always lead me into an exploration of something more than I would have discovered just on my own. Sometimes our hand and our pen goes off and does wild, wonky things is helping us. It's really just helping us. We can be open to the fact that unexpected things are actually here to help us. And they aren't actually obstacles, but opportunities. It starts to make everything just a little bit easier, I find. You can draw big, you can draw small, you can draw straight, you can draw wobbly, you can draw squiggly lines, you can draw thick lines. It's so incredibly endless amount of variety that you can play with in this very, very, very simple pattern. And if you feel yourself at all getting frustrated or at all feeling like, oh, maybe my lines aren't as neat as I'd like them to be, or maybe my line's going to wiggle today, just come back to your breath. Relax your hand. Slow down your line. Allow yourself to be right here and only right here. Right here making lines on a page. Nothing else is happening. Nothing has gone wrong. We're just making slow lines on a page and breathing. And you can start another page whenever you like. If you want to start on another little tile, piece of paper. You can try drawing upside down. The other day I tried drawing with my left hand when I'm right-handed. It was an interesting experience, and letting go and allowing the line to be squiggly, allowing the left hand to have the opportunity to do something it doesn't usually do. I think sometimes our non-dominant hand gets a little bored. Says, hey, I can do things too. You're always telling me I can't do anything, but I'm completely capable. I just need practice. And so every so often we can give it permission to practice and see what happens, because it's usually quite fun and delightful and requires a sense of humor and a lot of allowing and surrendering to what wants to come out onto the page. In this class, really slowly. Now, I pretty much stayed with the theme so far, but you do not need to. You could have triangular points on the top of your little wavy pieces of grass or reed or whatever this is. You could be filling in spaces with circles or have orb-like shapes on the top. You could decide that you want a shape on the top and the bottom. What would that look like? Would that be interesting to draw aura lines for? The whole point is to breathe and draw slowly. Whatever else you're doing is absolutely perfect. And what's great about that is, excuse me, always have the opportunity to slow down. No matter how fast we're going, always making choices, and we always, always, always can make the choice to slow down. I'm going to branch out here. Just breathing and slowing down. It's also a good time to just notice whatever's popping into your head, not to go on a little journey or storyline or a trip with whatever those thoughts are, just to notice them and let them be there. Say, well, that's interesting. Where did that come from? Or I haven't thought about that in a while. I don't need to think about it now. I'm just going to let it go on its way. And if it's important, it'll come back. And if you find something in particular that you really love, a line that you're like, oh, this is just so soothing and calming to draw this particular line or pattern or shape, and just keep going with it. Notice how it makes you feel and just allow it. And if it wants to change, then let it change. For me, allowing is always about the process of opening to new ideas and new concepts and new ways of doing things. And I I'll bump up against my own belief systems or thoughts about, well, that's not how you did it in the past, or that's not how so and so does it, or that's not how so and so told you to do it. To just question and say, well, is there anything stopping me from doing it the way I want to do it? Am I hurting anybody if I do it the way I want to do it? Am I the only one that's not giving me permission? Is it only my permission that I need to do this new thing in this new way? Even if it's as simple as just addressing habits you've had for a long time, like how you put your shoes on, or how you make the bed, or how you brush your teeth. Any one of those things can be done in a new way. So many ways to do just about everything. Just because you've been doing something one way for a really long time doesn't mean that you can't change it. Always making choices. We always have the ability to make a new choice in every moment. And it's really great to practice so safely on the page with a pen and your breath, just to see what happens. The nice thing about drawing this way is that the more you draw and the more you explore, the easier it gets, and the more your ideas flow, and the more open and allowing you are about accepting those ideas without arguing with them first. I've done a lot of arguing with my art over the years. That won't work. That's going to be dumb. Why would you do that? The idea just persists and comes back and comes back and comes back until I say, fine, I'll try it. And all the time, every time, like, oh, thank you so much. That was amazing. I wouldn't have thought of that on my own without some help, a gentle nudge. Without some persistence from the creative idea. And so now I've learned to open and accept. Sometimes I still argue, but I try not to because it's just a waste of time. And then if you want to add any color to this, so rounding is a really fun little thing you can do. Just take whatever corners you have and just fill them in with a little black webbing or whatever color you're using. Just a really gentle way to add a little bit of grounding black or color when we have so many aura lines doing their aura line thing. It's nice to give them a little bit of grounding. It's kind of fun. I think it is anyway. It's kind of fun to be able to find all the corners. It's like a puzzle. What corner am I missing? What corner can I round? Just add a tiny little bit of something there. It's so subtle and it's so effective. You really don't need to do very much to have a really big impact. Which also means that in our lives, we don't really need to change that much. Sometimes it's just giving ourselves permission. Sometimes that's all that's necessary to change everything else. Just a little bit of gentle rounding. A little bit of everything is okay. Nothing bad is happening. Nothing has happened that makes you any more or less who you are. Okay, so these are my explorations. Yours may look absolutely nothing like mine, and I hope that they don't look anything like mine. And you can continue to play with this pattern if you'd like. Oh, focus. Camera needs to catch up. There it is. It's a little slow. So as I was saying, you can play with this pattern throughout the week, and it'd be really nice if you took 5 tiles or 10 tiles and just put them in a little stack. And every day for just 5 minutes, maybe you just sit down and say, what else can I do? What else have I not done? What do I want to do? What has popped into my head that says, what if I do this? What if I do that? It's really, really fun when you follow those ideas that pop into your head. And you've got a pen and you've got paper and you can do it. So I hope you enjoyed this class. And if you would like to donate to this class, it's paypal.me/eternalpossibility. And you can find my other classes at eternalpossibility.com. And I am so glad that you came here to draw with me today.